3, 2, 1, go!
I just noticed I have like a tuft of hair sticking up. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's very strange and like it's an anime character. I don't know why I have it like that right now. Anyways, guys, welcome back to part 2 of the 50 facts about me, which is very strange because I'm a humble person by nature, and that's not a fact, by the way. And I kind of hate talking about myself like that, but or just general, unless I have to, or if someone asks me things about myself. But you know, I did say I would do this way back when, and I feel so horrible that it took me this long to finish this. You know, it wasn't by nature that this happened. I had a lot of stuff happen with the work overload is real. But not even just that, it's just that it was the busy season where I worked, so yeah, it was nuts, to say the least. So, you know, it doesn't, I'll put it this way, you know, like, no matter what job you have, if it's corporate, if it's, you know, something you do for, like a low-end business, if you have, you know, if you work in like the food industry, whatever, during the holiday season, you're gonna get slammed. And even my job, I get slammed, and I don't do any of those. So it's nuts. It's crazy that works no matter what job you have. So I noticed the last video that I did way more than 25 facts. It was supposed to be like 25, and I did like probably 27 or 28. Doesn't matter. Think of those as extra. I'm probably gonna do the same thing with this one because I'm horrible at keeping numbers in my head at the same time while talking about these things. So it's like, that's why I don't do list videos very often when it comes to beyond 10. You know, it's like 10 is okay. Once I start going beyond 10, it's like, wait, did I say number 11 already? Did I say number 12? You know, and I could do like a check mark thing, which I should have, actually, you know, hindsight, I should have did that. Let me see if that works, where I can do that. That's actually not a bad idea. Nope, I don't have a pen with me, so never mind, I'm not doing that. Wait, yo, I'm so, oh, yeah, I do have a pen with me. Pen. So, what I'm going to do is I'll just tally off things in my head so this way I know that I'm doing exactly a certain amount. But, just because I want to. You know, it's like, why would I not? Yeah, it makes my life easier in the long run, too. It makes it where I don't do considerably more than I should, like, because last time I went way beyond when it came to how many numbers I did. I was supposed to only do 25, and I kid you not, probably 28 or 29. Anyways, fact number 26 about me. I love orchestra music. Many people don't know what type of music I listen to because I don't really get asked that a lot, but for those who do wonder about that, I love orchestra music. I love stuff that is with big crescendos and big, just like booming tunes and audio. I've always been like that. I don't know why. Like, for example, I love, I saw the Metal Gear Solid concert in New York City. That was incredible. I did a review for that, actually, which was so much fun to be able to go there. And I sat like almost front row. I think it was like 4 seats away from front row. It was incredible. It really was. And it was just inspiring to see these people play these amazing tunes with, you know, such great instruments and stuff like that. So it really was pretty cool to see that. And I love music, like in video games, not even just video games, but in anything where it has like a haunting melody. If it has a haunting melody, it just captures you, and I've always been like that. So yeah, that's a fun fact about me, because I mean, a lot of people, I do, and fact, we'll say, no, this is fact number 27. By the way, I'm really legit writing these down. Fact number 27, I love more alternative music. I'm someone, don't get me wrong, I love pop, I love rock, I love all that stuff. I love alternative music when it's done a certain way. One of the groups I just started listening to recently was AWOL Nation. I heard the song The Best on the radio. I am freaking just like awed by that song. I downloaded it the same day I heard it on the radio, and I have basically non-stop listened to it every freaking second I get to. Like, I love that song. So fact number 28. I am someone who will constantly be annoying if I feel you're upset or if I'm worried about you. So, fun fact, a lot of people in my job already know this about me. I'm very quick on picking up how people's emotions are, and there's a reason for that. I'm actually going to save that for the very end. If you want to know something very secretive about me that I don't tell people very often about myself, wait until the very last fact. I kid you not, this is going to be the last 50th fact about me. And there's a reason. I'll tell you more when I talk about it, but I am annoying as hell when it comes to that. I am someone that will talk to you and try to, you know, it's not that I want to know your business, but it's just that I worry about you, and if you're my friend or someone I care about, I want to make sure you're okay. So I'll be like, oh, you know, you're okay, what's up, you know, hey, you seem a little down. And so, you know, you'll hear me in the day, like someone doesn't tell me right away, I'll be like, oh, hey dude, what's up, are you okay now, you know? So yeah, I get annoying with it. I know it's some people like it, some people have issues with it, because obviously it depends on your, you know, kind of person that you are, you know, because if you don't want to be really someone that tells anyone your private matters, if you'll get kind of annoyed by it. But I've always been like that. I care to know about what's going on if you really are in need of help and stuff like that, because, you know, I've had people in my life get, you know, hurt by, you know, self-hurt themselves because of stuff like that, and I don't want to see that happen to, you know, other friends of mine that I make, and other co-workers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a little annoying with that. Fact number 29 about me: I own way too much anime. I should not buy so much anime anymore. No, I'm looking at my right because I see like a pile. The Christmas haul, like I didn't do a Christmas haul because legit, I was like amazed at how much stuff I got, that doing a video for that would probably take me way too long. So I splurged because like Right Stuff had such great deals. So I just, that's a side fact. It's not really a fact. Fact number 29 about me is I love art books. I am a diehard collector. I might have said that. I hope I didn't. Some of these I might repeat, but it's okay because it's like I said, I did like 29 facts last video, so it works out longer. But I love art books. I collect them, you know, in any adventure. So it's like, I mean, more so like anime, video game art. You know, like sometimes other things. I really don't like. It's not like you'll see me with like old fashioned art books and all that. I'm not really like that, but I love anime art. I love like sketchbooks and stuff like that because I've always found something amazing about art. I can't draw. Fact number 30 about me, by the way, because it kind of goes into that 29th fact about me. I am a terrible artist. I barely draw stick figures. I don't even know if I could draw a stick figure good. Or well, excuse me. I guess maybe because I'm a writer by nature, that art and music has always kind of eluded me in terms of doing it myself. And I've always been just more so a writer. You know, it's been where I paint a picture with words versus painting an actual picture with imagery. And one of my good friends from high school, he was an artist. He loved to draw, and I used to always get like just bewildered by how good he was. And I used to go, you know, dude, I love your art because it's just so cool how you can visualize how he wanted to describe himself, and because he used to do a lot of his self images for his own art too. But like he would alter, and that's kind of how his mentality was of himself, and you could see it and feel it when you looked at his images and stuff like that. And I know some artists, even when I met in college, where they're very similar. You would see them draw like a picture or something, and you know exactly what they're trying to convey with it because they can talk with pictures. Versus, you know, like if you want me to describe something, I could always describe it in great details via writing. That's something I could do very well. But you know, in terms of drawing, if you want me to draw a house, you'll see like a square box. It's not even a square, probably like almost like a rectangle, and then you know, I'll have like horrible images of the roof will be like all collapsed, and I can't draw. I really can't. I would almost make that as a fact about me in its own right, but you know, actually, it kind of is a fact. Didn't I just make that a fact? I can't remember. That's terrible. Anyways, fact number 32 about myself. I also love collecting anime music. I've always been a fan of getting anime CDs when I can. Anime CDs are expensive, so I don't buy them like in droves like I used to when I was younger. Because I think more nowadays, anime CDs have gone up. Like, so if you want anime soundtracks, they've gone up considerably. Versus the old days, you can get like, we'll say, like, I think Paranoia Agent was one that I always wanted to get. I never got it, but I remember I saw it in stores for like $8. It used to be dirt cheap, and I never bought it just because I didn't really care to buy it, I guess, at the time. But I did eventually later on want to get it, and then I saw it go up and down in price. Now it's like, I think, and now I think it's cheap again. But you know, it's the whole kind of concept of it is that, you know. And by the way, when I was younger, you know, I didn't have as much money. It's like, you know, I had my own piggy bank and savings focused on either buying anime or buying comic books or stuff like that. I couldn't just, you know, choose everything. You know, even now I can't choose everything, but I can at least afford different things versus before. But, you know, I do love getting anime music. It's something to me that's just so much fun to do. Number 33 fact-wise about me. I cannot window shop. That's a random fact. But seriously, anytime I go to a place, it doesn't matter where I go, I have to buy something from there. It's like, I'll put it, okay, let me not put in that extreme measure. Like, if I go to a shop that I have no interest in getting anything from there, I won't buy anything, obviously. But if I go to a place that I find interesting, like if I say, for example, I go to FYE, which, you know, I don't know if you guys remember what FYE is. Like, Fies was a fun store, but very expensive. But I used to enjoy going to FYEs near me. I used to go to them a lot. But no matter where it was, I used to go there and I would buy something from there. God, just what happened. It's not really just by choice. It wasn't like I'm not a compulsive buyer. Like, I would find something that would be first off affordable and something that I wanted, but I would buy it. You know, it wasn't compulsive buying. Like I said, you know, it's not like, oh, I have to buy something. It's just by nature. I go to a store, I can't window shop if I like stuff in there. I'm gonna get something, and I'll go out. I think nowadays I'm a little less like that because I don't shop as much. But even more than that, I don't really need to constantly get stuff because I can, you know, kind of I measure where value is for me. Like it's like, oh, I made X amount of money. I don't want to spend X amount of money. You know. If that makes sense. It's like more savings thing. I think every person by nature gets more and more like that. 34th fact about me. It took me a long, long time when I was younger to get over my fear of the dark. I was afraid of the dark for a long time. I think a natural human component of a lot of people are afraid of the dark for their whole life. You know, you're always weary of what's in the darkness. I was younger. I think maybe I was by like 12 or 13 when I finally got over my fear of the dark. And it wasn't because, like, you know, I was, like, worried about stuff in there. Like, I wasn't like, oh, my God, there's a boogie monster in the closet. I wasn't like that. No, not even by any venture of that. It was more so just I don't like dark, like, complete, utter darkness. I've always liked a little bit of light. Even when I sleep at night, I always have, you know, some form of light coming through my window or something coming in. When I lived in Pennsylvania, which many of you guys know I did live in Pennsylvania. I'm going to put that as a fact 35 about me. I lived in Pennsylvania. Anyway, so back to 34, though. You know, when I was in Pennsylvania is very dark. If you guys don't know, if you don't live in a city in Pennsylvania, or like you don't live in Philadelphia, if you live more in an area like I did where it was very rural and you know, my neighbors once in a while weren't there even for months at a time, it was so pitch black outside. It was like you could see everything in the stars. Like if you were somewhere with a stargazer, you had a giant telescope, you would love to do that. I mean, if you could find areas that weren't full of woods, obviously, but if you just looked up, you could see stars everywhere, and it was really nice. But I hated the fact that it was so pitch black. So like every night I had not like a night light or anything like that, but I had like always some form of light coming through, where I would have either maybe like my computer monitor would still be on, or I would have something on because it's just I couldn't sleep with pure like darkness. And you know, as I get older, even now I don't like sleeping in the dark when it comes to that. That's not a fear concept for me. Like I don't want people thinking, oh my God, he's afraid of the dark. It's more just it's uncomfortable to me. Like I can't fall asleep in a completely pitch black environment. I know some people love that. Like, you know how they cover their eyes with like some kind of mask or anything like that. I can't do that. It irks the crap out of me. Like I will not sleep well if it's too dark in my room, because I want some semblance of light coming in. You know, it's just how I am. That's why I think maybe that's why I'm someone who sleeps better during the day than the night. Interestingly enough, day, which is weird. I don't know. But, that's actually we'll put that as fact number 36 about me, because a lot of people don't know that. I tend to be more active at night. I've always been like that. I'm not someone that's not active during the day, obviously, because I work during the morning. And people always laugh because they would say, "Oh, you're a morning person," because I'm very happy and energetic in the morning. No, I might be happy and energetic, but I'm always like that. No, it's more so just the fact that I like to be active more at night. And it's not like, oh, do you go parties or anything like that? No, I don't do any of that stuff. That's actually one of the facts about me, but I'll go into that in a second. I am someone who just likes to be active at night. I've always been that way. I think maybe internally my wires when it comes to that are mixed. When I should be sleeping during the day, I'm more awake at night. Even at like certain times, like for example, why I work in the morning, because if you guys don't know, I work at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I work better then than if I would work during the day, because by 4 o'clock in the morning I'm usually wide awake. I'm just wide awake. And even when I used to focus on just writing for my second job, I used to be always active at that time versus me, you know, being active during the day. So yeah, I'm a night person. Fact number 37 about me. Let me see. By the way, some of these I'm just coming up with off the top of my head, but I know these are facts that I've never shared with people in terms of like on an average. Like if you ask me all the time, I probably missed that. What was it? I actually was going to mention one before and I forgot about it completely. And I hate that I forgot about it. And I'm also not, I don't want to do what I did with the last video. I edited the last video a ton of times, by the way. There you go. That's the 37th fact about me. I have no idea how to edit things. I've been doing YouTube now 40 years. I still have no idea, besides bare minimum editing. I can do like minor editing. I can change, you know, like pitch and volume and all that. I can change what timing of everything is. I can do slides. Obviously, I can do stuff like that. bare minimum. I can use Sony Vegas if I needed to. I've used it before. I don't like it personally, just because it's too complicated for me. I don't need all that complicated stuff in my videos. I don't do complicated videos. So I've used Windows Movie Maker, which I know people go, oh, Windows Movie Maker. It works for me. You know, I don't need very complicated stuff, so I can't edit. That's fact number 37 about me. Fact number 38. If I could, if I owned a house, I would have a library. I've always dreamt of owning a library. Not like a big library. I mean, in terms of like, you know, public library. My own library. Just have like my own room filled with books. I want that so bad. And one day I will do it. One day. When I get a house, you know, that's big enough to do it, I will make my own room, or even add on to a room or something like that. That will be a library. I need to do that because it's just how it is. I want to have my collection of books that I have. I have so many books you guys don't understand that a lot of them are in storage. I don't actually have them in my apartment. If I had all the books I owned in my apartment, probably half this room would be gone. Which it would just be books. Maybe more. Actually, no, realistically, more than half. Probably like most of this room would be filled with books. I can't do that. And I mean, it's just how many books I've collected over the course of time. It's not really like, I don't buy brand new books all the time. I buy a lot of stuff that's older too. Like you know, I do bargain bin stuff. I get books from like Salvation Army. I've went to a few times. I got books from there, and you know, used bookstores and all that, because I love used bookstores, by the way. I should make that a fact, but I've gotten a lot of books over the course of my life. Fact 40 about me. I used to collect comic books more than I would collect anything else. I used to buy a lot of comic books. I don't have... I think I only have a few series that are worth a lot of money. I think I have one issue of a Spider-Man comic that's worth not a significant amount, but like a significant in terms of for what series it was. It was $20.99 Spider-Man. I have the first volume, not here, by the way. So you know, don't be thinking, oh my god, I can find. It's not here. It's in storage also, but yeah, I used to collect comic books in droves. I used to have this comic book store near me that I used to drive to with my dad, and we would go all the time. And before it closed, because it did close, unfortunately, she didn't make very much money at that place. But I used to save up all the quarters I had in this little, like, I don't know if you guys remember like the M&M minis. They used to have the little like circular thing. I used to put quarters in that, and I would collect all the quarters, and I would go to a comic book store, and I'd be like, I'm gonna buy this one today. And when I didn't have enough money, my dad would actually give me, he would front me a little bit, because he's like, oh, you know, it's like $2 more, $3 more, what, here you go, it's not a big deal. But, you know, I would try to always save up for my own money. I'd be like, oh, you know, I'm going to get this comic book today. It's like $1.50, I want to get it, or it's $3 or $5, whatever. I used to love going to comic book stores, and I used to have tons of comics. I gave away a lot of them. Not just, I had a yard sale, I got rid of some of them that way, like I gave droves away and that. I gave some to my friends, I just gave some away just in general. But I do still have a lot of comics. I have maybe a couple boxes full. I do have a box here in my closet. It's still like several dozen comics too. But yeah, I don't have as many of them anymore. I used to have a lot more. I think now, I mean, I'm gonna put that as fact. I'm gonna put that as fact 41. I have more PS2 games than I think any other console I own currently. I own every console. I own PS4. I own Xbox One. I obviously own PC. I own Nintendo Switch. I own the Nintendo Wii U I had before, etc. No matter what console I got, I always have a bigger library of PS2 games than anything. I think I have almost 250 PS2 games. You know, and that, I mean, okay. If you look at it in retrospect, maybe considering like PS4 has like more downloads, I have more downloadable titles. But in terms of physicality, I have more PS2 games than any other console. I love the PS2. It was one of my favorite consoles still to this day. PS2 was like, I think, the best console in the world. That's why I'm praying that the rumors of PS5, if you guys haven't seen, they said PS5 might have backwards compatibility with all the past consoles. If that's the case, oh my god, I'm going to be binging on old games from PS2 days, because I have so many I would love to play. I would love to play Virtua Quest, for example, again. I had Virtual On. I had Time Crisis. You know, even though you can't play it anymore with the light guns, I'd still probably figure out a way to hook it up to do it. I miss the PS2. I really do. Fact 42 about me. I didn't have a computer till... Oh, I thought I said that when I remember. I was going to say I didn't have a computer because I did that in one of my other... The last part. I talked about that. Oh... I didn't have a Nintendo console until I was like, I want to say 17 or 18 years old. And I don't mean like, oh, you know, like nothing Nintendo related. I mean just like Nintendo, like the original like Famicom type Nintendo system. You know, that old brick gray box. I didn't have that until I was 18. I bought one from a friend who was giving away because he was moving. He didn't really have any use for a Nintendo anymore. It worked for a week before it broke down. I almost feel like punching that dude in the stomach for telling me, like, I think it was like, I only paid $20 for it. So I mean, I think he knew it was not going to work very long. But what amazed me though was I had a lot of fun with it. I had Duck Hunt for it. I had the original Mario, obviously. I had Galaga. I had Life Force, which is a great game, and I had a dozen other games that I had from past things that I bought just because I wanted to buy them. But I didn't have that until that time period. I was never a big original Nintendo fan. I always preferred Sega Genesis, which, you know, I almost want to say is also a factor on me, but I'm not going to do that because that'd be stupid. But I really never got into Nintendo until later in life. I loved, like, the Game Boy Color. I loved the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance SP was still one of my favorite handhelds of all time. I used to love that foldable thing. And I always got pissed off that I think one of them got stolen from me. And then I lost one too, which was terrible. I lost it in the city when I was traveling, which kind of sucked. But I was, you know, I was already older, so it didn't bother me that much. I didn't lose any of the games with it. Ironically, I had taken the game out of the thing because I was switching games. I remember that, and I lost the handheld itself, which is still bizarre to me. So it's like I had the game in my pocket. I remember I got home and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh shit!" You know, where's the console for it? And I realized I left it in New York. So someone found it, probably. You know, it's probably found and someone took it. I hope whoever took it, you know, enjoys it. Fact number 43 about me. I used to love to build models of Gundam. I used to do a lot of what's now as Gunpla. I used to do a lot of that when I was younger. I stopped because I just didn't want to invest into Gundam models anymore. Gundam models or Gunpla got very expensive. It's not super expensive now, but, like, I mean, if you want some of the master grade editions, those are like almost $250 to $300. A lot of the other ones are about like anywhere $40 to $60. Still, to me, a little too much price. I mean, when I was getting into the models, they were like $20, $30. And I mean, I had a Wing Zero from the Endless Waltz. I had that one. I think it's custom Wing Zero. It's one for Endless Waltz. I had custom Heavy Arms. I had the original Heavy Arms. I had Death Flight. You can tell by the way, Gundam Wing was my favorite Gundam. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of all the Gundams I had. I had a lot of Gundams. I had a significant amount of Gundams. Needless to say, but I had a lot of them, and I used to love to build them. I used to have the one. I had the toy ones too, but I also had the ones that you build, like with, you know, like you break the pieces apart and put them together. That used to be so fun to me. I used to enjoy that beyond words. And I just kind of got out of it, you know. Like I said, it got expensive, and I just didn't have the time for it anymore. And I think what shattered me a little bit was I had a collection of the Endless Waltz series, and my dog broke like several of them because he hit my not my closet, he hit my my stands with them, and you know, with his head, because he used to like bump into everything. I don't know why he used to do that when he was young. Like my dog when he was a puppy until like maybe his 3rd year of life, would be crazy violent when it comes to like slamming into stuff. He would like slam into walls just for the hell of it. I remember I asked the vet about that, and the vet said no, he's just like that. He's like, you know, that's his way of showing like energy is to bounce off things. So he slammed into my shelf and crushed, you know, like they fell on the floor and crushed them and broke them. And I was like, you know, I was done. I was like, that was it. Okay, fact number 44 about me. I took martial arts for a lot of years. I don't know if I said that in the first one. I apologize if I did. But I took martial arts for many years. I enjoyed the shit out of martial arts. It was so much fun to do. And then time went by and I couldn't do it as much anymore. And then I moved, so I left dojos. I was a candidate for a black belt. I'm not a black belt, but I was going to be taking the test for it. And I wasn't worried about that test. Like I remember I went through all the pre-testing for it. I was ready for it. It wasn't like that I was worried. I had all the katas. I had, honestly, almost 30 katas that I remember by heart. I remember I had all of them down pat. And, you know, I wasn't worried. Like, I mean, because I don't know if you guys know, but martial arts, especially if you go to a dojo, when you do get upgraded and, you know, do different belts, you have to remember the katas of that belt. When you get up to a black belt, you have to remember the katas almost of all of your stuff. So it's like up from white belt all the way to, I think, well, from my school it was, I want to say purple belt, maybe? Maybe brown belt. It was purple or brown belt was the last one, I think. And then they had like a stripe belt too, but the stripe belt was stripe belt, I'm sorry, was candidate. Because it was like black and white. which I used to always think was kind of cool. And I don't have that anymore. I lost it. I have no idea where I put that. But you had to remember all the katas from all the previous years, and you had to remember, you had to go through them, and they would ask you like, oh, do this kata, do kata number 5, do kata number 7, whatever. You'd have to go through them every order. You had to show that you were proficient with them, at least proficient, to get the advancement. If you didn't show they were proficient, they tell you, okay, let's say practice on that. You'll take it again next month or whatever, because it was like that. You have to take it every month. So yeah, but I had them all down pat. I practiced multiple times with them. I used to remember them by heart. Now, if you ask me to do kata number like whatever, I only remember 2 of my katas. The 30. I hate to say that, but I stopped practicing them because I just got older, and I lost the efficiency to do them, and various other reasons. But yeah, I miss karate. I really do. I miss the whole thing of it. If you guys need to know, I was trained in Kempo, which is like American form of karate, and I was also trained in a little bit of like I self-taught myself certain things. I self-taught myself Aikido. I self-taught myself Jeet Kune Do from Bruce Lee's books. I had my dad actually collected a ton of Bruce Lee books. I had several of them to just train off of and use to practice movements and motions from it. So I did that for a long time though, and I still do. I still practice even today. I still know basic forms and how to do specific moves and stuff like that. So I'm not really one of those people afraid to get into a fight. I'm not worried I'll ever get hurt in a fight, just because that's just my nature. It's like, why am I going to fear someone else when it comes to that? But yeah, I missed martial arts. It was a lot of fun, and it was probably one of the more enjoyable hobbies. I mean, I hated when I first started because it was just tiring, and I wasn't really in good shape when I first started. But when I got older, I started liking it, and then I kind of missed it. So it's like you don't take for granted stuff like that, because it's like you might hate it at first, but then when you get into it, you'll love it, and before you know it, you can't do it anymore, and then you're like, oh, I remember when I started, I hated it. So it's ironic because you're like, oh. All right, fact number 45 about me. Let me see what I was to say. I like Coca-Cola versus almost everything else. I like Dr. Pepper, though, the best. Soda-wise. There you go, 45. 46. Some of these facts are stupid. I warned several people. I said, because I remember when I did this video and they begged me to do this video. I said, listen, I'm going to throw some stupid facts in there just because I want to. So Dr. Pepper over everything else. Secondary, Coca-Cola. Third, Sprite. I love Sprite. Fact number 46 about me. What's a good one? I'm trying to think of a good fact about myself. It's hard when you think about it, like, dang. And also, I'm trying to think of ones I haven't talked about. Oh, what was I say? What was it? I was about to say something I forgot. I miss the days of when I used to run all the time. There was a time where I would run a lot more, and I haven't been able to run for various reasons. That's a little personal, so I won't get into that. But it stopped me from being able to run like I used to, and I kind of missed that. I was doing a lot of running for a couple of years, and I really, really enjoyed it. You get a runner's high from running. But I'll tell you, man, running, it's tiring and boring sometimes, but it's also enjoyable just to be able to run in certain environments and listen to music, or just kind of get lost in you just running, hearing the sound of your own breath, or hearing something, just playing in the background. Fact 47 about me. In high school and school in general, I was never a part of a clique. In case for some of you guys who may be just starting high school, or maybe some of you people that don't know what a clique is, cliques are people like, for example, you have geeks, you have the jocks, you have all those things. Those are cliques. I never belonged to one of them. I was always a nerdy kid. I was always a geeky kid. You could call me all those things. I never really got into cliques. I never had. It's not that I was a person like that was antisocial with people. I was very shy, obviously, when I was a kid, so I was somewhat antisocial. But I mean, you guys know why. Because I mean, if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know why. But you can find from past videos I talk about why I wasn't, very popular, or why, I didn't blend in with a lot of people. But I never liked being part of a clique. Even at work, where I work, there's a lot of cliques. And it's amazing because it's like, you wouldn't think the type of job I have, you would have that. But lo and behold, they exist. Don't belong to any of them. And I've actually had recently someone comment going, you don't belong to a clique, Aaron? I'm like, no, I really don't. I can get along with everyone because I'm that type of person that I'm all around when it comes to certain things. I could talk about this, I could talk about that. If you need me to talk about serious political things, I could talk about serious political things. I'm worldly, and I've always prided myself on being worldly as a person, because to be honest with you, I think when you put yourself in one particular mindset, so if you're all about sports, you might be a master of that, but if someone brings up anything else, then you're like, oh, you kind of close into yourself because you don't know how to respond. You don't know how to talk about that. I never wanted to be like that, so I've always been sure to kind of make sure I know about a little bit of everything. I know about, world knowledge. I know about world history. I know about this, etc., etc. So yeah, I've always been someone who hasn't been part of cliques. I've always been more so a loner when it comes to that. If you want to put in anything. Fact number 48 about me. I have always loved to write. I've said that before. There was a time where I stopped writing. This is not used to anyone, and there was a time I legit stopped writing. It wasn't because, I had writer's block. It wasn't because I stopped liking writing or anything like that. I had no, what's the word I'm looking for? I had no drive to write for a while. It was a couple of years of my life that I was just into just playing games and doing other things besides writing. And I didn't write as much. I didn't write stories and stuff like that. And I almost think that to a degree, I had to retrain myself to write. Like, especially when I went back to college, I had to start, remembering a lot of things of how I used to write when it came to poetry. Or because in college I wrote like poems and stuff like that for classes and stuff, because I did have poetry class, I had literature class, etc. And kind of not doing that for a while, it took me out of that stride. So I had to remember how to do this and that, and go back to the roots and stuff like that. It was interesting, but yeah, there was a couple years I did not write, and was it something I regret? Not really, but it was just because it's now I write all the time. There's not a single moment I don't write, but it was something that I think it helped me reflect on myself, because it showed that inside of me there's the writer that's always burning. Even at work, I can get very strange when it comes to, like, I'll see something and I'll just think of a story, or I think of, and I'll make jokes about, like, oh, what if this happened and all that, and people are like, oh, how can you do that in your head? I'm like, it almost seems like the person that has that dreamer concept, like the daydreamers, but it's not that. It's more so because I'm just creating in my mind. I'm always constantly thinking of things and thoughts, so it's there's no on and off switch in my mind. I'm always thinking, which is a double-edged sword. It does irk me sometimes, but I've gotten used to it. As I get older, you get kind of ways of controlling it, like where I don't have to think of like this and that, and kind of always have to write. Like what I said before, when I was younger, I had to write all the time. I had my book with me. I was like used to jot down things and stuff like that. I don't do that anymore, thank God. I don't know if I did fact 49. If I did it right, I think I did by saying that one. If I didn't, I apologize. So I'll throw in a bonus fact after fact 50. But this is fact 50. This is something that no one knows about me. No. Few people know about me. I am what I consider an empath. I don't know if you guys know what an empath is. Look it up. There's a lot of things where people say those are bullshit. There's like, oh, there's no way there's a real empath exists. I get that. I really don't care. I am someone that feels emotions from people and from places. If you don't know what an empath is, it's basically that. There's a little more to it, where you can kind of read into people's emotions and stuff like that. It has been a very interesting thing to have in life. I gained that probably when I was a teenager. I don't know how or why, but it was something that I could feel. And, it might sound a little supernatural. It's not like a superpower. I can't always control it. It's not like I could go, oh, I know someone's hurt, or I know someone's like, can't do that. I can't always know when one of my friends is in a bad mood or something like that. I can always, once in a while, feel it even if they don't tell me. Or I've had it where some of my best friends, I'll know they're down and no one else will know it, and I'll be like, what's up, dude, talk to me. And they're like, how'd you feel that? I'll be like, because they don't know that I'm an empath. But I mean, now I guess if they watch this video, they'll know that, if they watch the whole thing to the end. And I know you guys will not know it, but yeah, empath has always been considered a fictional thing. It's something that a lot of people don't believe in, and I don't give a crap if people believe it or not. It's some of you might believe it, some of you will. I know, I can tell. Some people in the comments will be like, oh, that makes so much sense, I'm like that too. And then some people will say that's not real. I don't care. It's your thought process on a lot of things. But this is a fact I don't share with a lot of people because they get weirded out by it. I've had people where, it's like, okay, how am I feeling right now? And if I do something in my mind, and it's hard to describe to you guys because it's really kind of something I can't put to words, but there's a way of me tapping into my, like, that kind of concept about me, and I'll be able to know how someone feels, or I'll know how someone's reacting. I could also feel the emotions of an area. So if I go to an area with a lot of heavy depression, or if I go to an area with a lot of sorrow or sadness, I know that from that area. And case in point, I've gone to bad places, like areas that were like more just downclassed or downtrodden, and you feel it. You can feel it in the air, and you feel it in just in general. It's a crazy feeling. Like, you can't put into words into it until you actually experience it. But when you do, it's overwhelming. Like, even where I work right now, I can feel it from people, and it's like, it's a weird feeling. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's something that it takes you back if you've never been like that before. So to me, being an empath is it's scary sometimes because it's not an on and off switch. It's something that is either always on or just it goes away for a little while. But yeah, I can read the emotions of people. I can feel like it has to do with, oh, you see someone smiling or crying. I just can know because I'll be like this. I'll look at someone and immediately feel that person's reaction. Like I know how they're feeling based on things I can't explain to you in the correct way. And it sounds strange. It sounds hokey in a way. But the other day I met this person at work for the first time, and immediately I said, "Hey, are you depressed?" And they went, "How do you wait? What do you mean?" Because I never knew this person, never met them prior. It wasn't like they were crying or saying. They had a smile on their face. They actually looked happy, but I got this feeling from them that they were depressed, and I instantly called them out on it. I said, "Are you depressed? Are you okay? You want to talk about it?" I mean, I know we are strangers, but if you, they started breaking down in tears. They started crying in front of me. They go, no one has talked to me about it and understood that about me. They see my smile and think this way and that way. But yes, I'm horribly depressed. Something happened, and I found out that person's, I think it was their mother. I want to say their mother died, and I felt horrible. I talked to them about it for a little while. I didn't have, unfortunately, the limitless time to talk because I was doing something else for work. But I talked to them for a little bit. I said, you'll be okay, etc. I went through the whole motions of it, but that's how I am, and that's why I am. Like I said before, I said this way earlier in the video, but I am someone that, will be annoying because if I am like that, it's because I'm reading it off of you, whether you believe it or not. Now, why I tell people don't rely on it is because there's plenty of times where that I won't activate. Like, there are times where I won't feel anything of a person, and I just, either A, they're clouding their thoughts so well that I can't even read that, or it's just because it's just particularly not strong enough in that person. Maybe there's no connection or mental thing that I could have with them. So it's like, I can't feel their energy. I can't feel how they're feeling. So, if that happens, I won't know. I won't know if they're depressed or happy or whatever. I'll just see it and have to guess it from, their reactions or stuff like that. I mean, I could do that pretty good because that's part of my other job too, is to do that, is to read people's emotions and stuff like that for what I do for work. But, which is, we'll put that as fact 51 about me, is that is part of my job, to read off people and see how they're reacting because there's a reason for it. But I digress. Yeah, it's interesting. It's something I've had where I've been, even people far away in far distances. I mean, like people from hundreds of miles away, or thousands of miles away. I will know how they feel, and they'll be like, "How do you know that?" Or "How do you know?" Or "Why'd you contact me just suddenly?" It just hits me. It hits me like a train. Like all of a sudden, you just feel an emotion in me, and I'll know it's from a particular person because I just feel it. There are times where also I'll feel that, and I won't know any person it's related to. Like I had, I found out later on, it was one of my friends got really sick, and I felt horrible, and I felt that emotion off them that they were like really down, I guess for whatever reason, and well, he's being sick, he's kind of down, but I didn't realize later on who it was, and I felt bad because I didn't get to talk to them about it, and I was like, oh, listen, I'm sorry, I felt it, but, and it's something that some people believe it, some people are like, oh, no, it's just a mental thing, you just think of that, or maybe you're just in tune with people's thoughts, but I am an empath, whether people believe it or not. It's something I don't share with a lot of people. This is the first time I think I've ever said on a video, because I just don't really want to have it always out of the open, but now it is out of the open. And you guys can comment below if you want to tell me, how it is or whatever. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. This is a long video. I didn't mean it to really be this long, but I hope you guys enjoy nonetheless. Have a great, blessed day, everyone. God bless you all. If you want any more questions about me, or you need to know anything else about me, or if you are curious about the 50th fact, which if you skipped ahead, you won't know what it is, and so you have to go back now. But if you're curious about that and you want more details on that, I can always feel free to DM you or text you or whatever if you want in the comments below. So let me know about that. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day again, guys. Bye-bye.